Are we going to war with Venezuela? Or not within? Are we going to war in Venezuela? Is probably the better question here. TJ, how much have you heard about this story so far?
Okay, so I saw this. Man, when did this happen? Yesterday? When?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That. Well. Actually, so I remember Trump sent a bunch of warships to
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela last week or something like that, and he said that a while ago the United States government declared certain cartels as terror organizations, which we've granted them that authority, honestly, ever since the authorization of use of power back in 2001 or whatever. The government can actually do that. They can say, "Yep, this group, they're no longer. This isn't a criminal action anymore. This is a terrorist action. We're going to go to war." So they labeled, I know it was MS-13 and Tren de Agua, I think, which is a group I never heard of before until this
Mm-hmm.
started, this was last year or whatever.
I'd heard of it before this, but yeah, not MS-13 was definitely the larger one.
John's familiarity with South American gangs is a little stronger than mine. Apparently, he's got the street cred and everything. But he he released this video showing purportedly, according to the United States government, a boat full of drug traffickers. That's all we know. We have no idea who these people were. We have no idea if there were any drugs. They didn't even say what kind of drugs they were. And a drone video of them being blown to bits on the ocean floor.
Let me show that for you here,
Oh,
TJ.
let's go.
So we got the video. Yeah. So this is the video of them getting blown up. Are we seeing this? Perfect. Yeah.
Of what appeared to be a drone view of a speedboat exploding and then on fire. This marks the first known operation since the Trump administration's recent deployment of warships to the southern Caribbean. Trump said the
All right. So yeah, that was the ship getting blown up. Yeah. No. It very very strange. Not strange. It makes sense, but it is just like a weird random thing that happened.
Well, I mean, it's not a good sign, right? I don't know if you remember this. This would have been like a year and a half ago on the show. We did a whole segment about Ron DeSantis, and Ron DeSantis saying that he was going, if he was elected president, he would send the military into Mexico to do drone strikes on the cartel. Do you remember that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's just come to fruition, except that it's Donald Trump in Venezuela instead. What's really depressing about this is, do you guys remember back with Chelsea Manning, when Chelsea Manning released video of things that took place in Iraq, and the video showed a group of insurgents who had been shot, and then an ambulance team, like some crews came in, like first responders, helped them out. And then you saw from the military helicopter, the cameras, whatever, they said, oh, and they shot all the first responders, just mowed them down. And that was a major scandal. I mean, Chelsea Manning went to jail for this, among other things. And it turned out, it's like, yeah, well, this happened. They just covered it up. The United States government says, yeah, we're not going to let this video get out of our military just gunning down first responders from people that should have killed in the first place. And that was a major scandal. It's not radically different than this right here. Like, it isn't. Like, transporting drugs is not a capital offense, last I checked, nor is it a wartime offense. We don't even know if they were actually transporting drugs. Hell, I mean, we don't know anything about this, and it's not going to get a lot of airtime. It's not going to get a lot of coverage. We're like, oh yeah, that's what we do. Who cares? It's in our hemisphere. Monroe Doctrine. We haven't brought that up in a long time. Monroe Doctrine or whatever. You know, we're going to do the police force for the entire West, and the silence is kind of depressing to me.
It's depressing, but honestly, entirely expected. Like what you're saying is right. This is fucked up. Even if these guys are Tren de Agua soldiers, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, that were transporting drugs, it would be fucked up. But we don't even know that. We just know Donald Trump says they are. And his history of claiming that someone is part of a Latin American gang isn't very fucking perfect. In fact, it's incredibly checkered. In fact, it's more often than not that if he says that someone is part of a gang, I'm more convinced than not that they are not part of a gang. Like that is where it is. For all we know, this is just a boat of people that was just going about their lives. Suddenly, airstrike from above, they're all dead. But even if I'm going to believe that he's telling the truth, what fucking right do we have to do that? Because, as you said, drug trafficking isn't a capital offense. It is not an act of war. It has never been something to define someone as an enemy combatant. And we just killed them. We had the ability. They're on a tiny little fucking speedboat. We got warships there. We could have apprehended them. We could have taken evidence. We could have brought them in for questioning. We really actually gave a shit about fighting this criminal organization, then apprehending them and getting information from them would be the far more beneficial thing to do than just killing them. But none of that really matters, does it, TJ? Because as we were talking about before, it's the spectacle that matters. It's, oh, we're doing something. We're fighting these drug dealers. How are we doing it? We're blowing them up in their boats. Simple. Everyone understands. Does it matter that it makes no sense? No, it fucking doesn't. All that matters is that people understand it immediately.
Yes, it's going to work. It's going to work. Like this is the same issue that you run into, that people don't like to, I don't know, a lot of the arguments for what actually worked and what's beneficial is a touch too cerebral for your average person who's voting and supporting policy based on the lizard brain. When you say, hey, we have a drug problem in the United States, everyone knows that we do. And they say, okay, we need to do something to combat the spread of these illegal drugs, these like unregulated drugs. Okay, we could legalize it, right? We could at least decriminalize it, or find some way to, because I am more than willing, especially after changing my heart on the whole gambling thing, I'm more than willing to listen to arguments of saying flooding the market with with additional narcotics and hallucinogens and stuff could have some damaging effects on society. All right, I'm on board. I'm willing to hear it. But our current system is pretty bad. Like, you're just making it illegal and having this same lesson we learned with prohibition with alcohol. This isn't going to work. You got to deal with the damage that comes along with this. But just having that and say, I'm doing something about the problem, I'm blowing them out of the water, literally. I'm just going to blow them up. A lot of people are going to say, finally, someone's doing something about it. Finally, some action's being taken. And it's pretty hard to argue from the logical side or the moral side or the legal side saying, hey, these are human beings that you're blowing up. And like you said, John, would it make more sense to actually apprehend them and question where this is coming from so we can shut down further trade routes, find out the source of this? People aren't thinking that far. They don't want to hear it. And you're just the guy who wants drugs into the nation. That's that's unfortunate, but yeah, it's a hack in the system that they're dealing with. And someone mentioned it earlier, Colby. On fire today, Colby. Colby said, Hegseth today said or implied that the United States would support a regime change in Venezuela. I have that clip. This is Pete Hegseth, the Honorable Pete Hegseth. Whenever you get this title, the honorific is literally the Honorable. That's who he is, actually, which is kind of insane to think about. But this is him on Fox News, and they ask him if regime change, if taking out Nicolas Maduro and installing our own leader of Venezuela is our goal. And he doesn't say no. So let's see what he has to say here.
So Nicolas Maduro, as he considers whether or not he wants to continue to be a narco trafficker, has some decisions to make. And that's all I'll say about that.
Is regime change our goal there?
Well, that's a presidential decision, and we certainly understand the indictment. We understand the $50 million. Anyone would prefer that he would just give himself up, but that's a presidential level decision, and we're prepared with every asset that the American military.
I hate that. I hate that. I don't know if once again that's honestly it's a standard answer you're supposed to give that you don't. I can't confirm or deny. I'm leaving all options on the table. It is something that politicians say a lot, but I hate when they do this with military actions that are completely unwarranted and unnecessary. They did it with Greenland. They did it with Panama. This one, they've actually already taken military action against almost certainly civilians, right? We're not going after the Venezuelan military with this, whatever. It's just
certainly civilians. Like, again, like if you're going to stretch the definition of combatant to anyone who's part of a criminal organization, Sure. But even then, there's no proof that they were part of this criminal. No one's even pretended to give any proof. Like, they're just like, yeah, no, they're terrorists. Fuck them.
I hate it. I hate it so much, man.
It's pussy shit. It's like, genuinely, TJ, it's pussy shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know when we. I don't know. How do I put this correctly? I'm going to tie this into masculinity because there's a very strong.
Let's go.
Masculinity storyline going on here, where like anytime Pete Hegseth is on the fucking screen, you think of toxic masculinity, but it's like, when did it become masculine to just fucking kill people, like just random people? Like, when did that become the right thing to do? Because, like, I don't know about you, TJ, but in every fucking piece of media, in every, like, people who just kill people nonchalant without any reasoning or evidence as to why they need to be killed, even if you look at like anti-heroes, they're typically against that shit. You know, like the Punisher would be very upset about this. And it's like, when did this become, oh yeah, we're the strong, tough guys who just fucking kill people in a boat that couldn't defend themselves without any evidence that they were fucking terrorists? Like, I just, it seems weak to me. Like, it comes across as weak ass pussy shit. And I don't know when, maybe I was always on the wrong side of understanding masculinity in that way. But like, it feels new to me that this is just like the way men behave now if you're going to be a tough fucking warrior.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Masculinity isn't a axiomatic good quality, right? Yeah, you can have. It's hard to imagine. Like, let's say, I don't know if you ever saw like the Kurgan in Highlander. I don't know if you ever saw the Highlander or whatever, but the Kurgan is an ancient warrior who massacres people for a living. That guy's masculine, right? He is. I wouldn't say you can be evil as fuck and still be masculine. I still think that it still applies, but
at least masculine good guy,
right? But okay. So yeah. So if you're thinking if like Pete Hegseth is my guy and he's a good guy, but that goes to the other thing too, that masculine guys do kill bad guys. And if your automatic thought is Venezuelan drug dealers, bad guys, dead bad guys is a good thing. And if someone's going to go out there and do it, I'm all on their side. This is easy to do. I mean, I think about this so Donald Trump, how you've seen him, how he calls Chuck Schumer a Palestinian as a slur, as an insult, right? He said it's about Hillary Clinton, or Joe Biden said, yeah, this guy's basically a Palestinian. Kind of fucked up that goes by and no one really says anything about it. That imagine if he said, like, oh, this guy's like, let's look at this guy, what a Jew he is. Like how that would go over, like how awful that is. But you can say it about Palestinians because our entire lives we have been taught Palestinian equals bad person. So whenever someone besmirches them or insults them or uses their nationality as a pejorative, it doesn't really gain much traction, to the extent that, oh yeah, Israel's killed 80,000 Palestinians. Well, that sucks, right? Now war's awful. I think that if you dehumanize your opponents enough, yeah, that can seem masculine to a lot of people. You don't care that, you know, this person hasn't had due process or they weren't actually investigated. Nope, that's a bad guy. The fewer of them around, the better. All right, makes sense to me.
Thank you for making it to the end of this episode. I'm John Cooper. This is TJ Whitehead. You either just watched a very well-produced, concise, singular video about a very specific topic, or you watched us go off on a tangent about movies again. Either one should have been entertaining to you, but make sure to like and subscribe so you can see them all. And TJ, say something else, because usually we throw to our guests at this point.
That's all right. Folks, we appreciate you watching the show. I want you all to know that today's episode was sponsored by Boys and Girls Bicycles. If you look on the right, you will see a boys bicycle, a very masculine bar across the center. And on the left, you will see a girls bicycle, a very feminine slope across the center. There's no reason for this anymore. It's something that we did 150 years ago and have stuck with today, even though it serves no practical purpose. But gender exists. It's a real thing in human expression and mechanical expression. We will catch you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.